Hello, and we're back. Welcome to the show, everybody who persevered. Thanks so very much for sticking with me. It's appreciated. Pardon me. 4 minutes, 18 seconds in. Average watch time on my videos recently has been about 3 minutes. For if you're still watching, you're among the most hardcore. Right, so what we were talking about here on price action is the speculative horizontal level at $27.50, 49 cents, right? Shout out Komodosh. At this, who knows, as I do, and Rocky Outcrop does, that price action on GME will go to $27.44. It will do that. Crazy, eh? Crazy, but us three, we know that. The point being, what does it do when it gets here? Because if there's a rejection, and that rejection is significant, i.e. it takes you back below a 236, so subsequent to getting up to that level, which is going to happen, right? So subsequent to getting to that level, do we then go back below 26.18? Oh, right? Because if you do, then you'll likely come in and test 24 again. And if that happens, right, if you go below 24.64, having tested 27.44 and not got back above 34, you'll come back down to 886, won't hold you at this 2249, nor will this previous low, and we'll go on to test this level in around 1980. That'll be what happens. $20, 1980, that sort of little area in around there. And this will be a broadening wedge. The period of intense volatility coming up on GameStop, starting on the 13th of December to the 15th of December. There'll be a lot of volatility on those days. Either it's going to move shitloads in both directions, or it's not going to move at all, and before and after it'll move shitloads. So this is going to happen, right? This is all top secret, though. Anyway, it's all totally and utterly a certainty. No, it isn't. And nobody, but this is very highly probable, and that would be what would come next. This would then be a 90-degree, this would be terrible, right? This would be terrible. Broadening wedge, probably the worst formation you could see. And if price action then fails to break back above that 24.50, having done everything previously, you're looking at this, coming to those levels, and potentially, if it was to break then lower, you would even maybe anticipate that break lower being the equivalent, of this, or greater, should it break that support level, right? This would be, what some people will be looking to. If it breaks down and that sequence of events, which we just outlined, happens, that'll be terrible, right? That's the bear case. Bull case is that this thing, counterintuitively, doesn't go straight to 27.44. It, in fact, slows down where it is at the minute and doesn't break down back again below 23.40 for the next, until such times as we've got through the second week of December. If we can do that, then it might just be that we get a chance to keep going up and test that 34 level. And if those break, it will be the same situation. Hold this 22, 23.40, hold that, push towards the $27 change. If you manage to then hold 26.20 subsequent to that, you could be pushing up, test the 200 at 30, push, 29, 33, push above that, 30, push above that, 34. And like at that stage, price action would be breaking out of this formation. You'd be looking at something similar with regards to the elasticity was in the range. I'd say it'd be this previous area you'd look to, and you'd be something like that is on the cards. If it does break above 30, 34, you'd be looking at the full range, come back up, test these prior highs, right, in at around 45 to 50 bucks. Boom. Right, so that's the point. But the point of control that I'd be putting attention on, not with regards to any indicator, just terminology overlap there. $25, an important level. And as Rocky was mentioning in chat box yesterday, important people who've bought into GameStop did it in or around those sort of levels, adjusted for the split. 19 would be amazing. It would be cool if we filled that RSI box from previous breakout. We've tested it here on the, which time frame was it? The hourly you've got in there? No, the hourly you've got in here. On 4 hour and daily, not quite yet, right? You've not quite yet tested that level, and that is the signature that this thing puts in before it goes again. So we'll see how that works out, but a very good point, sir. So that's what we're looking at. Mostly we did a lot of that, 4 hour. So daily time frame, don't need these scary lines anymore. Explain the problems. Right? And I've said this, clear said on the internet, live, even with audio and everything. Oh, look. That's for yourself, sir. Congratulations. Ooh. Right, so there's this period of volatility coming up, right? Similar to this period. And big deal, I think. So that's something to pay attention to. Something to pay attention to. I'm already feeling in my main objective of today's show, though we are being helped greatly by SPY 392, 395, 398. All these lovely levels. Failing to break into this upward sloping previous support. But that's not what's really important. We're talking about these diagonals and this breakdown here. 400, that's the target. Golden pocket here, 397 and change. That's where we're at right now. Right now, sir. Hit that like button. So the 50 simple's gone back above the 200 there. Tiny itsy bitsy time frame. 15 minute. You can see 200 period moving average. Still pushing us down. Right. Peak 1. Low. Trough and peak. Still catching them. Holding the 200. Losing the 200 here. And the 30-minute time frame. This is if you're really in for your tiny turnip farms. 50 simple crossing below the 200 price action, clearly held below them both at the moment. 1 hour time frame, as small as it's meaningful, you're holding the 200 as support, and you've still got that 50 simple coming in at the same level we find a horizontal lit, and where we fear 886, top side of golden pocket, and obviously a psychological level at $400, right? Round number or whatever you want to call it, right? Big fatty boom batty 400. Your jacket. You get her jacket, indeed. I can send it to you on the Discord. Like Stanley, the flat man. TradeSpot, can you explain the right angle broadening formation, please? Yes. Well, the right angle broadening formation is has a horizontal level of resistance that will go horizontally, such as this, right? For example, and it'll have a level of support which goes, and you'll notice it following this linear decline. You need 3 touches on each, right? So typically you would see this thing, in the worst case scenario, you enter it in a bearish trend, right? So you'll have prior highs followed by lower lows, right? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then you'll enter this formation where you'll find, some sort of level of resistance horizontally. And then you break down and you get these touches of your support level, and you get these subsequent touches of resistance, down, support, resistance. And it doesn't have to necessarily follow this very regimented formation. It could easily be, here, wicks down, body closes within the same formation, you're going along sideways. It's mostly about getting 3 touches. You need 3 touches on both sides, at which point it's a valid formation. And if you're getting 3 rejections from a horizontal level, and each time that you find support, it's lower and lower and lower again, then you would say that support isn't as, it's declining here, right? And you would likely be experiencing distribution because you're failing to make higher highs. And if you are, they're, insignificantly higher, and there typically would be actually experiencing lower highs with continuation divergence, i.e. the RSI, which would be like, in this panel here, you'd be seeing it putting in higher highs as price action was putting in lower highs, right? And not making it back above the previous high, and then you'd be looking at this divergence, which would be likely mirrored with bullish divergence on the bottom side. And so if you're looking at this and you see, well, everything we need for it to go to the top side's working, we've got all of our bullish signals, but it's under bearish conditions. And we've also got all of our bearish signals, and it's a rejection at this level. You would see that there's clear distribution, every time that price action getting here. You could then add on the final part of that, you could look at the volatility situation within it, and you'd see, like, depending on the time between these moves and clearly the range of them, whether or not volatility was increasing. That is to say, if it was to go down to the bottom here, but it was to take a very regimented and not very steeply angled decline, as opposed to a massive quick move down in one tiny candle, right? So that would be increased volatility compared to the former, because volatility is a dispersal of prices over a range, right? So the quicker that dispersal, the larger that range, the higher that volatility. And so you'd want that confirmation. And then at the very, very end of it all, you might look for a volume signature where you'd see higher volume at these peaks here. You may indeed see it also at these lows, but that I don't think would be significant. It would be in around these levels, and that would be when you see your volume above its own moving average volume indicator, should you use a moving average on it to give you some relative perspective over that. So that's what you'll be expecting to see during it, and then people would trade that typically on a break of support, right? And maybe you would see it come up here, fail to break above what would be the median line of that formation, at which point that's a lot of people would take it there. And indeed, of course, you could be managing your risk at the top side of that formation for other reasons, right? So all three different places to look to. If you were trading aggressively, it might be off here, right? Aggressively trading that particular signal. If you're covering some previous trade, it might be that you've got more attention on that side of the formation. You know what I'm saying, right? And also, of course, this could break to the top side. This, if you were managing your risk at either side of this formation, you get the lowest possible risk when your entry is very close to your stop, and of course your stop is where you'll definitely wrong. So your stop defines where your entry would be, and that then the target is defined by the formation itself, whether you're taking it to the other side from resistance to support or vice versa, or you're looking for it to break support and fall back down, at which point you'd be looking for something that represented the volatility and the range that you saw within the prior formation, which would be something like this, and you'd be looking at that sort of a measured move. Now, bear in mind, it's a logarithmic chart, so everything's relative. So you see what I'm saying? That's what your right angle broadening wedge is. It's one of the highest likely patterns to break down. It's a bearish formation. It's most effectively traded in bearish conditions, and it leads to perhaps one of the greatest measured moves that you would see from pattern trading. So you put all of those things together. You might also have your own momentum that you're using to analyze trades, you know, your own momentum signature, at which point you would be looking there to see perhaps signatures with similar to or approaching that description of divergence that we talked about earlier. I can send it to you on Discord. Don't. So that's, you know, essentially the top things to look to with regards to Bulkowski's right angle broadening wedge formation. And the most important area I would suggest in a bearish formation is the resistance level. That is very clear in this formation, in that it's a horizontal level, and as such it's very obvious to everybody who's watching along, and the psychology is pretty obvious. You know, you don't need to put faith in just statistics alone. In this scenario, you can imagine it if you were trading it here, saw it put in a low, you were trading it here, see it fail to break above a high, see it come down, find support, you know, be enthusiastic about that, and see it go up and fail to break a previous high, and then come down and find another lower low. You know, you can live that experience. It would be very I wouldn't enjoy it. And then come up and again, at this point where you're most enthusiastic, again it fails. I mean, you can imagine the psychology yourself, and this is how you would add, you know, as well as being technical analysis, being an analysis of price. It's also a large degree of it is like behavioral psychology. How will the market react to this information? And that's why you use pattern trading to get the best possible edge, is to understand how is the rest of the market going to react when this information, which we can already see is clear, continues. And that gives you an early entry, and it gives you an early opportunity to derive a confirmation over your trading signals, because the formation continues to play out as you anticipated. And there's multiple opportunities within that to exploit margins in trading. So think about it. Think about it. Think about it. That's hopefully helpful. Hopefully helpful. Right, so, and we talked about SPY there. So hopefully that was helpful. That formation, clearly not what's happening currently on SPY. So if I do turn off the drawings, you can see that we're putting in higher highs, but we're failing to do that on the RSI. While we're going lower on the lows here, price action is confluent with that. So degree of increased range, and then turning the drawings back on, the levels you need to hold clearly marked out here. And if we don't manage to break back above 400, the next support is significant, 388. So there will be volatility and bounces at different levels about there. You know, 4 hour time frame, previous low is also where the 200 period moving average is, and so an early signal is 392. You break back below that level, pretty bad news. Likely you'll test 388. If that doesn't hold, 380. If that doesn't hold, 886. And exceeding prior lows likely. What we're thinking. So, TraceBot, can you explain the right angle broadening wedge formation? Hope I explained it then. And hey Dad, would you take a look at G's for me? Thanks so much for the formation lesson. We did this the other day, yo. 1 hour price action below 200, 50 simple above it. 4 hour, we've lost that. 236 comes in, 356. You've made it here. That was what we said would happen. Price action made it there. Has to hold that level. If it doesn't, likely come down, test 340. That's a big percentage move from now. Do have an opportunity. Clearly the RSI is very extended. This is where you would anticipate a bounce. Top side of a previous golden pocket, 236. 4 hour, if you're asking for more than 370 at the minute, that'd be a bit rich, but it's where you'd look to. And, you know, depending on how you're drawing this out, you could say that's a 1618 plus. So it's already very extended. If you're looking from this high to this low, golden pocket exceeds the 50 simple, so I'd be looking for a 382 to 369. It looks bearish. After that, for more than that from here, I wouldn't be looking for, and I'm not even looking for that because this looks like it's rolling over, and actually, ideally, you'd see it break that 356. Looking for 324. Earnings. Goldman Sachs, one of 3 banks being proactive about cutting costs in quite a public way recently. TraceBot, can you explain the right angle? Did that. Yo. Shikar, yo. Hint, hint, Jimmy, hint, hint. You're legend, you're welcomes. Second that statement. You are literally the greatest man that's ever lived. Thank you for taking to explain that. Welcome. Well, Rocky's explained it better. He loves broadening wedge, all different kinds. Hey, Dave, that's that. Great. So we covered that. Nobody's saying anything. I don't notice anything. John G super chatted 99 cents last. That was yesterday, but what's John G saying today? Where are you, John G, sir? I think I saw your name earlier, didn't I? There it is. I hear stuff. Yeah. Same. We almost, there he is. Coin. You want to look at coin, do you? Would boo. So positive reaction here, bullish divergence. Let's say that's in line with the downward sloping trend. Price action tested its previous low. You'd expect a bounce there. Didn't get much. Held by the 50 simple. Second reaction because of the bullish divergence, failing to break above center line RSI. Not particularly positive. Crossing the MACD suggests you could go somewhere. 200 period moving average so far away. That doesn't seem very likely. This indicates bad news for Bitcoin. If you are looking at reactions, you've had a number so far, and it's giving you this downward sloping trend, 236. There was a gap, filled that, came back up, never managed to make it to the 382. Didn't even manage to hold 236. Got your bullish divergence, and you're outside the bearish control zone. At that stage, you had a reaction. It's a trading signal I talked about the other day. Came back up, filled this second gap, back above 382. God, that was a 50% retracement at that point. Then you break down, you start putting in continuation divergence. So you're going to come back to your support level. That is the ultimate low. That's where you were going. 2 touches there. Bullish divergence again. Like I'm saying, not recovering. 1 hour time frame. It's trying. But then it's got everything that would give you a disqualifier right screaming at you. Don't take that trade, you fool. Put it back above the center line. 200 period moving average at your prior high. No gaps to fill there. On early, I don't care anyway, really, but like 35, that'd be very much ambitious target from here. Looking at this and hoping for the bullish divergence, like Class B bullish divergence here, it's not really enough to take you beyond it as a first artifact, and that is the 50 simple where you're at right now. So I'm cautious. I'd be cautious. Daily time frame, you've got your bullish divergence, but not enough of it, and this is just the first time you've come back to that low with a very muted reaction. It's going to break down, isn't it? And where's the next target on that thing? 1.13, probably going to exceed that though. Where is this guy? 35.50, the next level if it breaks below 41, which it could easily do because it has done before. That's where it is. Break below 40, next target 35. That's a significant chunk. So that's what I'm thinking. You know, not particularly bullish on that looking at the chart, and nor am I bullish listening to the CEO talk about his own company. He's quite frank about how it isn't going to go up, he thinks. 15-minute time frame, what are you seeing right now? You can see that you've got your bullish divergence here. You've had your reaction, 200 period moving average on that tiny time frame, holding you back there. Back above this level, your next target would be 46. Break that, you'd be looking at 48. 1.1 free extension, topside 51. Gap fill around 55. And you'd probably go on test 56 at that point. If this was the move from here, do I expect that to happen? Not necessarily. You are back above the center line, but I can see that you're already close to putting in continuation divergence, and to get back above 50% and 200 period moving average, sure, you could push there and push above, but closed there, big ask. If so, yeah, cool. You know, you've got a 7-8% price action. Come back in, test this golden pocket, top side of it 46. It's for more than 46 from here, it'd be crazy, and don't think you're looking for a 10% move to the top side on coin at the minute. It's done a lot of what you would expect off the back of that signature already, so not particularly positive. I got stuck by a B for trying to save a little shit. Oh my god, what happened? What did you say before? Hello, the Tim Bob 6. Total gentleman, sir. How you doing? Great to see you. Cookie, there you are. DW, loves of fun. Yo, Keith. Great to see you. Yo, KT. Great to see you live. Great to see everybody. Colin. Great to see you, Colin. Go in. Banana freeze. Yo, it's D. Yo, great to see you. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Trace button GTII about to reach 886. Oh, dealer's choice. Yo, Cookie. Check out real big moves there. Also on this, big moves down again. Broke that previous level of support here. 50 simple. The ceiling. No bullish divergence on these teeny tiny time frames. 30 minutes, sure, but momentum's not in your favor in advance of this all. Volatility picking up here. That was a good signature, wasn't it? Feeling at the bottom side of the gap. It was brutal. That move failing there, brutal, but 2618 extension, lasting a lot. Anywho, 1 hour time frame, still that gap, flash fill, boom, shout out Rocky Outcrop, 886 retracement, boom, you're right, Sir Colin, boom. Bullish divergence on this time frame, now we're seeing it, small as it's meaningful. You've got a tiny touch towards the bottom on the histogram there, but like out of time, look what it was doing beforehand. Yeah, you're in the bearish control zone. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. It's true, I'm not going to argue with it, I'll just wait. Bounce now and make it back above 1. That's incredible. It's already at 0.63. Already. Oh my goodness, I can't handle this anymore. I have to immediately. So this would have been your previous 236. Just take him down. No, actually, I quite like him. There. So 1.17, that'd be brilliant to make it back above there. You've already filled that gap, and then you're looking at actually thinking maybe more than 886 here would be a lot to ask for. I mean, I know this is very unconventional, right? But it's a lot to ask for that. Where's the golden pocket there? 0.7, right? So, and it hasn't finished this drop yet. It's just this. Where is the actual low there? Pardon me a second. I say pardon me a second so I can get on with what I was doing just literally before and afterwards. 0.61. The low of the day, 0.6202. So there's still a little bit left. And, if you're looking for like the actual low across here, 0.55, and then obviously all these other aspects to it. But you're like Colin says there, you're at the 86 retracement. That's offering up a lot of a potential. Maybe that's beyond 0.59 is where your stop goes, and your target, you know, asking a lot to make it back up to 1.16, 1.17 at the minute. Maybe first off, you know, you could be talking about being like not a complete crazy lunatic trade spotting. Get back above the 236. You know, it'll be this period of in around 0.7 is going to present another likely area inflection point. So I'd be very careful around there. It's another benefit and way of using the RO flash, which is hopefully just added a few thousands to the outcroppetition doomslayers using the RO flash over the next few months. You can use it looking back in time, right? Inflection points after you exceed those important areas. You can use that again. Spin this motherfucker. He knows what's up. Right, root. So 3.3%. Okay, great. Well, that's not enough considering what you just did, sneaky. Right, so yeah, broke down prior low here. 627. Likely that'd be an area to look to for resistance. Found it there once. Congratulations. Getting back down a touch of bullish divergence at this stage. You're asking, does it go for a bear flag? That'd be a nightmare. Want to make it back above 236. That comes in at 608. That's the first target above, considering the state of that breakdown. If we're looking at this for confluence with an 886. Well, it's above it. It's maybe a golden pocket, but even then, asking a lot. Take it across. Yes, asking a lot. It's probably asking a lot. So 236 first target. That's the first place. 6.08 at the minute. Got this guy on for extension. So it already happened, but see if it does break down some more. That's that $5 support. Talking about this and the big moves. If it doesn't get back above 6, 5 could be on the cards. Why was 555 this? Why was that? So anyway, that's the 1 hour. 4 hour time for us start on daily like normal human beings. People just sit on the weekly actually and do a lot of this. There's a flash at 5.8. It's currently at 5.93. So you're moving away from that direction at the minute. Likely comes back there. 4 hour time frame. Get that at www.patreon.com/rockoutcrops. Choose indicator tier, which you also get free access to the Discord with, which is incredible. So it's brilliant value. Whatever the price is, it's brilliant value. For 19-minute flash on the root. Oh, aye. That's interesting. Komodo 19 minutes. That's still trending down on most time frames. So let's see what we see on the 15-minute. Also lower highs, lower lows, higher lows here. So class B bullish divergence. So I suppose, you know, it's interesting. Whoop up. 19 minutes just for the back. Like, I mean, what do I mean? This is where people spend their lives on the 19-minute time. This is what it's all about. Sucks. Oh, right. 8.109. That takes you back above a lot of those different targets. Is this enough bullish divergence? Well, you've got it. The problem is you've got continuation divergence with the RSI pushing higher. It is a downtrend and price action failing to break the previous highs. There's obviously bullish divergence, but that's like led to those inflection points that's taking you up, and they haven't even broken this tiny time frame trend. You know, go down to the 5 minutes. Again, you can see it here starting to do something perhaps with the idea of a higher low. And that being a previous inflection point, and then it being bullishly divergent, and that being the kicking things off, maybe. Then you're looking for it to break 596. If that happens, live through the resistance at 605, 07, whatever. Push back above there, 625. That was the first horizontal that we put in there at those levels. And if you do get back above there, 200 period moving average would be conquered. That being in line with the previous high, you would be breaking back above the 200. Want to you'd want different time frames because that's stupid to spend too much down there. You're already at a resistance there on the 30-minute time frame. You also have a flash. Boom, 7.78. Break back above a 236 at this stage. I'd say you're probably going this 236. This previous formation, the 8 golden pocket here. Obviously that's updated now. It's the same fib we've got over here. Just delete this guy. You're all over the place anyway, mate. Get home. Get yourself home, mate. Right, so 7.78, 1.13 extension up at $8. If that was your target, you'd have obviously been doing well before you reach 730, i.e. found support somewhere. You'd likely have to take a really extreme move at some point during that. This is isn't giving you the bullish divergence. Inverted head and shoulders and RSI is giving you nothing on price action yet. Nothing. Nothing. Not nothing. Nothing. Trade spotting. ATVI got the news you were saying would happen, Jamie. Microsoft and Activision being sued by FTC as the end of today. Boom. Somebody clip that then. Clip that. Boom. It's easy. Just go to the video, clip it. Boom. You can find it in the playlists. On playlist page, on channel. Boom. Go in there, clip that. See, there's amazing news coming. No one's going to believe it. When it happens, boom. And then put it in, put that on, clip that, put it out there. And the internet would love it. Put it on the subreddit, share it on Twitter, you can share it on freaking, you know, some of you have jobs and stuff. That's what your excuse is not tuning in. Well, you could tell your co-driver, look, check this out. This is interesting, and it will be brilliant interesting. Hello, Jose. How are you doing? Great to see you. Right, so get on it, y'all. Get on it. Get on it. Yeah. You love making the clips too, you know, because you've been doing me a favor. You all love it. All he is. So did I already do this guy? I did, but let's do this guy because he's slightly different than that other guy, and this gives you this guy, and that's why I drew that in. Golden pocket retracement at this stage would be 683. Well, I mean, you're looking for it to go back beyond so many important levels. The first place is your prior low, the 236 from this previous breakdown, and 236 in advance of it give you the levels 608, 626. You break that, you'll test 668. That would take you back above the 50%, and you could then be looking for a golden pocket. Find support at either of those previous levels, then you'll head towards 886, top side of this, and previous high within that formation. Also takes you to the bottom side of a gap at 7.78, and you will go there. You don't have the bullish divergence at this part that suggests you are going to, nor do you have the trending in that direction. So I would be looking for tests. Higher lows is the best you can hope for. You're not going to get higher highs until such times as you've obviously already filled this area. So we're looking for the higher lows. You understand what we're saying, Joe? Thanks, Cookie, for the 499. It's appreciated. And we were on other time frames. There's their 200 coming in around that target, 200 simple period moving average, and this 236 likely says. Back up to the 4 hour where you see the very simple, similar levels as you would. That's the target. 684, important level in the middle. Daily time frame is a flash at 5.8. So are we going away from that now we've put in this low? On daily and the 4 hour and so on, you've got a lot of bullish divergence. You've tested the bearish control zone here on the daily, and it comes with a bullish divergence. So, you know, not too worried about this previous high because it wasn't bearishly divergent, and you were looking for a catch in the center line. It's obviously going to get on 2-3 touches and come back. But where you find support, it's back at the top of the bearish control zone. If it does move away, then you're looking for those topside flashes to be filled, and this is the departure point to remember to come. It will be coming back to afterwards. Another way of using the flash, you can just look at it from there, and you know it'll be coming back there at some point. So if you're already in a trade, you've got to stop in profit. You are flying, right? You can literally forget about it, and that's another counterintuitive way of thinking about trading. If you know price is going one way and euro is currently going to be there at some stage in the future, and it's currently going the opposite, well, that's exactly all you'll ever need to be an absolute billionaire. If you can figure out what I'm saying, right? That's all you'll ever need. That's in fact better than knowing so much more about trading, because it could go anywhere on the other direction, and you could be in that trade and make any potential profit, and then you'd always know you were right in the end. It's incredible. It's better than knowing any. It's the best. And that's just talking about this one way of using an indicator. Previously I was talking about other ways to make you money in short term. It's the best thing. It's the best thing in the fucking world. I'm not going to use anymore. It's too good. You get that somewhere else. Also, I have to say that the Patreon, on my Patreon, on all tiers, I was sharing my chart and have been doing for a few months now, but clearly that comes with the indicator suite I have access to. So people were getting like obvious flash targets and whatnot by being on my Patreon. So I have to update that and unshare those charts. So unfortunately, that'll be ending. If you want the same thing, you'll get it via Rocky Outcrop's Discord. Get that via being on his Patreon. My Patreon, it was just a little extra bonus for you guys for a while. So please don't be upset about it. Please don't be. Plus, you know, we get all sorts of stuff, don't we? We're all excited. Everybody's grateful. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves everything. First doom slaying billionaire. Let's go. So we did have loads of things, didn't we? It was brilliant. VIX, what are you up to? Whoops, Vic, not Vic. Hi Vic, how are you doing? Vic. Oh, look at that line. So price action VIX. That probably filled now. Congratulations, well done VIX. Oh, this is the chart we were looking at previously. Yeah, and the target's there, 29.30. Should you break above the 236, that's where your flash is. Sorry, your cross is. Take this guy. Which way were we looking at this at the time? Get out of the way. You're in the way. You're in the way, mate. Right, so if we're taking it from that high down to this low, back above your 236, if I was to draw it importantly more accurately, you'd probably be right on it. Very close. I took that wrong direction. Very, very close. Oh, getting closer. 382 is already a horizontal level to look to, and all of these other targets, same thing, right? So hold that. 236, fantastic. The next thing you're looking to on VIX. Well, I mean, you would probably want to go straight to the cross, but you can't deny the fact that the golden pocket here, previous Fib 382, line up so very well. The symmetry between these so perfect that likely it does find a little bit of hesitation at each. That cross is happening right now though, so there's an immediacy to it. Target above then, 25.75. Break that, it's looking for 29.30. Does we think that's happening? Could easily do so. It's not come down and test this prior low though, and 50% of this formation would be what is that? I'll just work it out with maths. 30 and then the equivalent would be what? 17. So 13. So 650. 650, yo. 650. 650. So it's where you are at the minute. You know, you're already in and around the basis line within this downward sloping channel, which I could have just drawn and had that in. And you're at that there. Oh, here we are. Go. Oh, freaking goodness sakes. Right, so you're in around the baseline. That's what I'm saying, right? So you also got this 236. You managed to hold the horizontal. You break that downward sloping diagonal. You go on, test these other targets, and the cross coming in here is why you'd likely do it. And that is a proper death cross, right? It's daily time frames, proper death cross. Price action, test that. Ken, right? So, and this fibs from that same formation. So this is one you'll use. There's your symmetry. Keeps you it's in the right place. Likely don't put any lower in the meantime. But see what it was? See, yo. Right? Until such times as it completely breaks down, which you would see. All right, yo. Whoa. And so SPY pushed up a little bit. VIX comes down a little bit. And again, people then have the wrong reasonings. Their logic like, yes, see, I knew it was a volatility measure. It's like, well, carry on. You have to be humble. Yes, the humble mumble from the East. Hydration check. Everybody hydrate. 3/4 of an hour in now. Make sure you're hydrating, everybody. Hydration. Trace 1 5-hour flash at 236, 3-hour flash at 0.5 on route. What tomorrow's news today with that flash? Turn to and truly. Good news. Good news. Liking that, you know. So if you're looking at that and you're thinking, well, at 5.8, right? It's the potential to buy a put in it around strike slightly lower or slightly above. Price action is obviously above that, so there's a room there. And that leaves you with potential to make money in future. Likely you're losing money at the same time, so you could have it as a married put with shares, buy them here, or you could have, you know, Condor or something else that was exploiting moves to the top side. And then you get both sides of the volatility. Plus, you'd have your short further dated, right? Even though you are trying that direction at the minute, still makes money, you know, and all of those things can be used. Like, none of it's financial advice, but like, this is simple. UVXY failure swing on GME. Well, I would be taking the that as potential, but I'd begin referring back to the underlying there. Going back to VIX, double UVXY. Failure swing. This is the failure swing here. With you, no. What? No here. I mean, are you talking about here? We already had that move. We talked about it at the time, yo, this trade. The failure swing on the low side, no. Don't see on daily. You're looking for on 4-hour then? I mean, you've got bullish divergence here, but then you've got immediate continuation divergence, and you're below 236 there. Look for this to push down to 6.66 still. No difference there unless, do you mean? No bottom. No, the bottom RSI 3 touches perhaps daily. Daily 3 touches. They see this not failure swing, yo. This is not a failure swing. This is not what that is. Yo, weekly. What you doing? That's what I said it would be doing. Yo. So, you know, what else we got going then? Bitcoin positive moves so far, but I already looked at coin. I think that's giving you a bit of a heads up there, yo. What else? I think this is funny. This is very funny. It's just super easy. I like the easy things. I don't know why I'm shouting. Shouting out. Okay, stop that. Those two small bumps at the bottom can't be considered. Well, I mean, what did I just say? So you're gonna have to go and learn what it actually is, right? Not this isn't a million questions game, right? You're gonna have to. You've learned where you're going wrong, right? It there completely in that what it was and is, and so you're gonna have to start at the back on this. What's it called? Board? Somebody tell me what that board's called. You're gonna have to go back to that board. And stop talking about bumps. You're so rude. Me, who hasn't learned option strategies yet, like iron condors? You don't have to. There's nobody has. It's not. Don't stay away from them. Don't do those things. Just trade spot, right? And then you know, spot and that. You don't have to do this. You just follow Rocky and trade spot Bitcoin, where you'll get 100x leverage if you want it, and then you don't ever need to trade. And then you go on to futures on the altcoins, and then you're making extreme amounts of money, and who cares what you're trading? Just that's the answer, right? Futures, altcoins, so much money, right? You're managing your risk. Well, it could be anything you're trading, doesn't matter. And there's the volatility, there's the short-term moves. That's what it's at, right? It's loads of mods and loads of money. But then, you know, if you can't do that because you just have to trade stocks, you're like me, and you're just weirdo, like me, gotta be doing it. It's like that's what anyway. So, you know, then what am I talking about? I mean, I'm not putting anyone off, right? Just and options, you know, I've said this before, they're insurance over your other positions, right? That's what it is already. Yes, that is. Great, right? Well, you go back to me with some failure swing information, right? We'll have an example of them and whatnot, won't we? That'll be happening soon. I'm sure it will. This is where that journey goes next. I know it. I don't know why I'm shouting. Yeah, stop that. Well, no one else is talking, sir. So you don't even need to shout. Jake, how you going, Jake? Posture check. Shit. Oh, look at that. And I'm stuck at an angle. I can't move. Guys, I'm stuck. Oh, shit. I'm stuck. Ow. I can't move. Somebody's bound me to the table. I'll Discord you one when I get there. Well, you don't have to. No rush. Right? And like, in fact, don't do it today. Got a week. All right? And I don't want to see us think about it until then. And when I see it, I want it to be an actual failure swing on a 4-hour time frame or above. Would you take a look at Netflix for me? Do you have time to look left over at Meta? I'll look at Meta because Jackie's not the only person here. Shut up, Jackie. Right, so great, Jackie. Great. It's great. You know, you always want to be positive. Jackie, you're doing very well. This is very, very interesting. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is terrible. Yes, this is Meta. So, you know, oh, nasty. Isn't it? I mean, what we're trying to say is just brutal. Had your recovery there and then your gap filled and still turned out to be a positive day, that suggests price action is going to hold support for at least 3 more goals. And there's one that was at your previous resistance it's being backed down from, held support at that first level here. If it comes up right now, like that's probably it. Or if it doesn't, then you stop beyond 110. 107, 107. Could zoom in beyond a weekly trade spotter. Yeah, so anything below 107, I wouldn't like it, but it's offering up opportunities, and I'd perhaps be looking for a test of an 886 and or downward sloping resistance. The weekly time frame, right? It was like that, but then bear in mind, it was also like that. You're back within this formation. If you do come back up, then you could meet that anywhere around 140, right? Getting back above that. Until you've got back above there, I wouldn't be looking higher, right? But on that time frame, I can see you've got bullish divergence off this most recent low, but then, people think this is a fundamentally different company from what they did a few months ago. Here you've got your gap fill and no more, a rejection right after that. 250 period moving average also holding price action down. If it slips back below this prior low, at that 107 level and loses this downward sloping diagonal at the same time, then it's definitely come back, fill this gap at around 97, another gap down there at 90. It could easily, if it's got 2 gaps there, right, it's got 2 gaps there on the daily time frame. I know it's got this huge, massive, humongous, cavernous gap up here. This is caused by some awful catastrophe rather than some gradual problem. But it's got all these right next to it, and like this is lower highs. And sure, it's got some sort of displacement here from being knocked out of it, but then subsequently it's been crap. First the area, the gap had to be filled, like, and that's just given it enough, you know, fill this gap, then we can go one back down. It's like, so don't look too great. 4 hour BNED. Fucking Jesus Christ. I think AUI is experiencing RSI failures in 4 hour now. Oh, Jimmy trying to get jiggy. Papa, take a look at BNED. BNED. So, I mean, yeah, it's a quick look at Meta. You've got your 50 simple holding on the 4 hour, and I say that's significant, right? 200 period moving average at the prior high. Fill the gap and go on at 140. Anything more than that, like very ambitious. Could easily get there, but you stop beyond 1.7. Anything after that, I think it'd probably come back down. Gives you an opportunity. Risk reward on that thing probably makes that quite a good trade. No, probably. Depends obviously how it responds, but 5 to 1, that's all right. Get back above there. You sort of have done, eh? Center line. Wow, I can just not sneeze for a minute. I didn't know that. Did you know that? I thought when you had to sneeze that was it, but you can just actually have to do something. Do it and then go back to sneeze. Let's fucking go. Right, so, yes. Zebra, that's what I accept because of my zebra. You know, the humans don't accept because of my zebra lower body. Zebras are even worse. So this thing, what you want to look at? No, you didn't. You want to look at BNED. Okay, so nobody wants to learn anymore, apparently. And that's learning's dead. Apparently learning's been killed. Didn't know that. Didn't know that learning's been killed. It's as bad as it was. Learning's now, people are now obviously going back to, as bad as we were back during it. Yeah. But Barnes and Noble Education Inc. Right, well, books, and so their competitor is Amazon. And so, well, who's this then? This is the Citadel and Co. taking us down, is it? Is that what's happening, yo? Is that what you're doing to us? It is, isn't it? So, it's the first bounce level, 124 being next, 112 next. Offering up opportunities for sure, but downward sloping trend. There's your gap at the top side. Be looking for around 8. That's pretty big. You know, if you're using your stops properly, you get 3 opportunities. One at where it is at the minute. We'll give it a little bit more at 140, and then if that doesn't try, we get another one probably in around 125, 126. That doesn't, you get another one in around 112, and you can have really tight stops after each of them because it probably does go the next if it doesn't hold it. And then the previous gap coming in around 243. No, you'd be looking for a 236 to match up with maybe an 886 breakdown, 786, something like this. There's your 236, similar to these prior lows. So first target would be 198. This side of the formation, you get back above that, could easily test this horizontal level at 316, and then again, looks like you're putting in something similar. You know, these downward slope in. It's only had that similar to GME. It's not actually confirmed any of that yet. You do have 3 touches on top side. So this thing makes the back above 330 at that stage. You'd be looking for the golden pocket, the gap fill in the 86 all the way up to $9. But like sensible people would tell you, it's in a downward sloping trend. It's in a downtrend, and it's falling right now. It's only had 2 touches on that support. It's below 236. It's not made any moves back up again. And sure, you've got touches of, no, you haven't, of any bullish divergence. Nightmare, looking left. These are the places to look to. These horizontals. You know, obviously more chocolate on your biscuit at the very bottom. And so if you're only wanting one of these 3, that would be the one, not this one. If you don't get the trade, so what, right? You wanted more chocolate on your biscuit. So you'd already made your decision. It's only temptation that's taking you to this. So, you know, and what? You know, there's the middle. Is that better with a stop beyond there? Some people would like that. Why? Just gone there. Why not? You know. So yeah, that's what I'd be saying. And but then it's at the time. That's what I think. Sirs. Flashes on 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, etc. 15-minute think entry around 40. Stop around maybe 98. No idea. 140. Wow. Entry around 40. Stop around 98. Well, that'd be a huge distance, wouldn't you think? 140 to 98, regardless of the reward from the potential trade. Wouldn't you think that there's better you could do there? You know, like if it's not going to hold 140, surely there'll be other areas between 98 that you could look to. Like, there's at least 2 trades in that, right? 140 and 98 cents. I mean, that's huge. That's 33% away from your entry. You know, that's huge, sir. So we want to be narrowing that down. That's something to look to in your own thoughts there. Well, the risk reward might work out. How much is my stop as a percentage away from the entry price? It only really would be looking to exceed something like, you know, the ATR, maybe 2 times it at 223 plus the distance between your entry and support, right? So, you know, 43 cents. Sure, I see where you're coming from. That's maybe close to it, actually, in fact. That means it's kind of taking you out of that objective, you know. You need a tighter one than that. And as such, maybe you can then say, well, that works with like not catching the knife, you know, like price action recover to the prior low at 194. And then you can say, well, sugar, that's still too massive. You know, it's in a downward sloping trend. I mean, you're looking for it here to manage your risk with these. Like immediately beyond these entries, you'd be having stops. And that reduces the risk as much as possible. And like within this formation, I'd be looking for targets 180, that sort of level. Where would you see also when you're saying like stop around these areas, and the flashes, yeah, the flashes can't be the reason. Is that what somebody said? Is that flashes can't be the reason? Oh, definitely banana fridge says it. Flashes can't be the reason. They can't be the reason. They're just like obviously the target. The reason would be the separate thing. Which is why it says ticker, time frame, entry, stop, target, and reasons for your trade. You know, your trade reasons. That's separate from the target. Because the target is obviously going to be like there because it makes you money. And then the reason a lot of people think, well, this will make me money. And you're like, why? And they're like, because I want to be rich. And then you're having a conversation with them that they think makes perfect sense. And you're saying, well, you know, does the trade care about that? Or you know, no, it doesn't. Like it's like its own construction. So where's the target? And obviously that has to justify the risk that you're taking. But if that risk itself is like, well, my target's like 9 times the reward, right? It'll be 9 times my risk. So that makes sense, trade spotting, but not really. I mean, you know, execution is where you make so much. As the, you know, if you're to look back on any one trade, where does the best benefit come from, right? It's the execution where you'll see like the biggest benefit in the shortest period of time. So it adds the biggest weight to the crude part of your trade. So if you get in better execution, you can do exponentially better trading. So like, for example, the same target from $1.02 is a lot better than at 148, and the loss is also much better. And then you don't need such a high target. Right, you also can make more off smaller oscillations. Also, you'll get more reliable signals for things that fit within current formations. So then they are all usually something you can construct if you go through a chart in different time frames. Joe, this is an hour-long episode of really good information, I think. Right? I think so. Tubes, $5. Oh, that was $5 with that. Thank you. Quick look at some knife flashes on 1 or 2 or 4. Seems like 1.4 might be a good entry. Targeting gaps. Flash, perhaps a stop. 98 cents. No idea. Oh, that was on there. Thanks so much for putting that message through like that, so I could see it there too. Cheers, tubes. Cheers. Appreciate it. And John D, that was yesterday. Thanks very much. Right. So, Chubs. I think it was yourself and Cookie. Sponsors of the show today. Thank you very much, Cookie. $4.99. Cheers. Oh, $4.99. Just in case, like, because the $4.99 typically comes because, like, iPhones default to $4.99. If you're ever donating via an iPhone and a super chat, bear in mind that say it's a tenner, right? Not a fiver, but a tenner. First off, Apple will take $3 to $4, so there's 6, and then of the 6 that's left, YouTube will take, you know, about 2, and so there's of the 10, 6 is already gone. So you'd be looking at 4, and then there's fees and stuff before I'd ever get it. So I'd be looking at getting less than 3 from 10. So from less $4.99, I get, you know, probably like 120 or something. So this is the way it works. So thanks. That's very generous of yourself. I'm not trying to do like that. I'm just pointing out that's the way it works. You know, a lot of people don't know that. They think YouTubers are millionaires, and that, but that's obviously not the case. So thanks very much for that, and yourself, Tubes. Thanks very much. Appreciated. Obviously, less fees if you use the Streamlabs or Stream Elements links as and when you see them, but it's definitely hard to always see the messages, so thanks for also putting it through. So thanks, and on things that benefit you, oh, my camera is still stuck. I'm still stuck. I forgot I'm stuck. I'm just like the puppet. 25% off the course. So it can't go on forever, that. right? So, you know, thinking, make your move, you know, it's true, make your move. Today's the day to make moves, and then you'll be benefiting from it sooner rather than later, right? 25% off, like I say, it's not going to last, so don't get upset later. Right, thanks very much. Rocky should be on making shows every day, telling everybody, because he's celebrating his birthday, but unfortunately he's not well again, and so we'll see how that goes. So, you know, thanks for everybody sending nice messages, being all supportive of the channel and stuff, and for all the views and likes recently. It's been appreciated. Wall Street Bets group on Reddit are fired up and going all in on GM again. Watch it tomorrow. Are they? Well, hopefully they're paying attention to TradeSpotting's TA, which is more than just a simple technical analysis, but a complete understanding of the totality of the markets with a long, strong connection with that particular ticker. I'm going to beat the shit out of whatever sickness Rocky has. That's very positive messages. I find the things I've ever been up. Nice. Brilliant. She's very busy. Jackie, with all your questions and all your failure swing homework and doing that. Right. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you. See you tomorrow for more of the same.